wards placed per minute and least wards killed per minute. So the vision game between these two teams.
So that might be a good game for Fiddlesticks.
There you go.
There you go.
Could be a good game for Fiddlesticks.
Well, if they're doing as much homework as you are, Kobe, it might be a pickup. Lissandra in Italy already out. I think Amazing said it. Funny thing on the desk in EU is if Nidalee the best jungler in there, and Rek'Sai is if Nidalee's not. So we'll see those junglers
yeah,
up top.
This is 5.4. So Jarvan recently got the armor nerf. Took the armor off of his flag. So he got taken down a notch, and he got banned out. So aren't going to be seeing him a lot.
Indeed.
Wow, a lot of jungler focus here.
Good call.
Vi is pretty much the queen at the top, left going through bans so far.
We'll see how much they decide to do that. A definite focus here, maybe from the coach, that this call comes from. And the Morgana will be the last. That has been quite a flex pick for some teams recently in the top lane and at support.
Yep. Very, very, very strong champion right now. Pretty much all over the world, Morgana.
Yeah.
Really strong, flexible pick, much like Lissandra, actually. But not going to be on the table this time around. And Coast's decision will be, do we ban out another jungler, or are we going to trim down the top lane a little bit more?
Top lane a little bit more, indeed. They banned the Maokai. Said the Vi would be at the top of the list. Does Azingy decide to go for it? Would be his second play. Now Runified on Vi this time. We'll see what happens for the team.
Yep.
It's a good start.
Plenty of time to lock those runes in. Make sure he's got everything set. Meanwhile, Team Coast, they knew that they were giving up this Vi.
Yep.
Corki, really strong mid game. A lot of teams have been prioritizing that AD carry. Looks like Coast will be no different. Plus with LeBlanc. We'll have to see if she gets control of mid lane. She's one of the few mid laners that you can blind pick, you know, up there with Zed.
So a lot of the jungle focus is going to leave quite a few bans up, along with what Team Coast decided to ban. So Annie and Rumble are both picked up quite quick by Dignitas without too much thinking on that.
Yeah, those are two really strong champions for Dignitas. Historically, they've had a lot of success with KiWiKid on Annie. Of course, everyone knows about the roams from KiWiKid, but also Gamsu in the top lane with Rumble has had quite a lot of success as well. And Gamsu is one of the guys that has constantly been performing for Team Dignitas, you know, even through their ups and downs.
So it's either Rengar or Lee Sin. He decides to go for the Lee Sin. We're going to see that for Impaler this time. He did try that Rengar again last week. Didn't work for the team. And with the Kennen locked in as well. So pretty good engage for these guys if they do need it from Cris. We'll see what Dignitas decides to round out the team with. They have quite a bit there on the map to figure out what Coast wants to do with this team, so these should be some easy picks for them.
Yeah, this will be really interesting because Dignitas, they have a lot of hard engage and, you know, the Rumble for the mid game, zone control and team fights. But Kennen right now is also on the rise, coming from that top lane. Brings a lot of zone control for the team fights and really allows LeBlanc to pick and choose her targets, because Kennen causes the enemy team to spread out.
Yep.
So it should make Mancloud's job a bit easier in picking someone off, especially if they get stunned up.
So the Ahri does get locked in. That's been going through quite a bit more lately, and the Sivir. So the potential is there for the chase, the catch, and the takedown here coming from Team Dignitas.
Oh yeah, the Ahri plus Vi combo. Long been used in solo queue for destroying enemy mid laners.
Those ladies are dashing, Kobe.
Yes, post level 6, Mancloud will have to be careful about how he uses his distortion. If he does use it to push the wave or even go for harass, then easy gank for Azingy to pull off.
Seeing where these mid laners stand at CS and 10. They're both near the lower part of the list, so it'll probably just be a battle of wits and wisdom throughout that mid lane. I don't think we'll see too many kills coming from the safety of Mancloud's LeBlanc, and Shiphtur hasn't been too aggressive throughout the game. Here we are finally now rounding out the picks. Is it going to be Leona? We've actually been seeing a bit of that from Adrian as well on Impulse, and now we could see some from Sheep. He also has a good Leona, and he will decide to lock it in.
Well, looks like we're going to have a bloody game, Riv.
Yes,
Both
sir.
supports engage supports. Pretty much no peel here, except for maybe Lee Sin kick. But that's about it for both teams. So this is going to be bloody mid-game team fights we're expecting.
So Coast looking to keep themselves alive here this week and keep heading for a spot to be in the LCS. Dignitas bringing in a new coach. We'll see what happens as they come out into the beginning of this game, if the strategies are instantly put to the test, or if we'll see if it pans out through their vision, through their rotations, and how they approach the game overall.
Yeah, we'll see this time. Corki Leona also something worth noting, since that's the duo that was locked up here for Coast. A lot of burst potential in that duo lane. And Annie's very squishy. While Annie is scary and the threat of the stun can keep you zoned out for a while, Leona loves to lock up Annie, and Corki is one of the best follow-ups for Leona, being able to proc her passive and just dump out a lot of damage early on to immobile targets, because Frost Bomb really easy to land when you get Zenith Blade. Or
force a flash, especially with all the follow-up damage that you're going to have, so you get a win in the lane there. It's time to get your thoughts, however, on this matchup. As we've already spoken, head over to Twitter and send hashtag DIGWin or hashtag CSTWin to @LOL Esports. We'll be tallying those up throughout the game. The crowd's ready, red and the blue side, respectively. And we're about to get into the match here into week 7. It's going fast, and we're on to the Rift.
All right, so right out of the gates, let's see if Dignitas try and get some deep wards down and maybe look for a lane swap, because that kill potential of Corki Leona on Annie might be something they want to avoid.
Very true. We will have to look for it. And to mention, one of the players Dignitas will be relying on is their carry, CoreJJ. And Mash thinks he's found a weakness in his opponent's game.
CoreJJ, he's a very decent laner. I think his strengths are in his laning. His weakness is probably his team fighting. Sometimes he plays very over-aggressive, which can sometimes lead to his death.
Well, if the strengths are in his laning, then that signifies why Coast decided to last pick their support and get their bottom lane locked in.
Yeah.
See if it pays off here, though, because Dignitas have a sneaky little plan here. They've started off with 3 people in the bush. KiWiKid did not start with W or anything. There's no charging up W for his stun in the fountain and then trying to go for a level 1. I think they're just waiting there to see how the lanes would shake out. No deep wards, though. So, 2 versus 2.
Yeah.
Looks to be the call.
It's a little different for Dig. It's the first time we've seen them do that, so they're trying to get an idea here in the start of the game and start things off. Coast, however, staying safe. The wards have been placed pretty much mirrored here throughout the middle of the river.
So, since they are doing standard lanes, both of these side lanes should start at a camp to get that experience advantage. You don't want to be the team late to level 2, especially in the Annie-Leona matchup. And both junglers going to start on the opposite sides of the map because their duo lanes are, in fact, taking camps. Only the small Krug. So they will get to lane without missing any minions.
And is it true for the Krugs as well that more experience was put into the smaller Krug as it was for red and blue?
Not exactly.
Okay. So it may not have helped as much?
Much of a higher percentage was changed on the red buff and blue buff.
Okay. We'll see how that level 2 affects this lane now. They are going real fast for these quick relic shields as soon as Sheep can get them off. Wow, these guys are going hard.
Level 2 power spike.
Gotta get it.
They're looking for it. And KiWiKid has got his stun charged up just in time, though. So there's a little bit of counterplay here if he's able to, especially if he's able to dodge Zenith Blade.
That was a nice little volley back and forth. There is the connect. Not even under the turret yet as well. Sheep gets it. That was a great stun from KiWiKid, though, and they trade the damage here for the win. In that situation, the win and possibly first blood. The summoner healed to boot on accident, but it works.
So Coast definitely not on the same page, their bottom lane there. Mash definitely left Sheep out to dry. If you're going to go all in, then both members have to go hard for going all in there and not protecting Leona on the exit. Really big pickup for Dignitas' duo lane. They said this best thing about CoreJJ was his laning phase. Mashme even said it just moments ago. And now the laning phase is going to be very painful for them.
Very painful indeed. Those Zenith Blades are not going to stop from Sheep. Nicely played by Dignitas to get that 2 just in time. Impaler's coming down for the greed. Will he be able to get anything out of this? He gets a very nice cripple down. That's the slow, but the Sonic Wave misses, which kills the follow-up.
CoreJJ and KiWiKid already getting first blood by themselves, plus absorbing the first jungle gank, having Lee Sin show on the map. Such a big win here for Dignitas' duo lane down bottom.
Already some lanes back to buy wards as well, so they're going to start controlling the map with vision. And that's going to shut down Impaler even more. It's going to be tough to find openings here for Coast in the beginning of the game. Probably not the way they were hoping to start. Great job, however, from the Dig bot lane. Not really a lot of life we've seen from that lane, and they were coming out with first blood this time.
Ooh, and it is going to spike really early because he's going to go with that Sivir build where they looks like he's going to get the Ghost Blade. So that means every buy he KiWiKid with the early roam. He already has mobility boots off of the first blood down bottom.
Of course he does. Good flash by Azingy. That could have been real scary with KiWiKid a little too far off. He's not going to stop.
KiWiKid's going top.
He goes straight for top lane. This is really dependent on if Cris uses E anytime soon. He should be able to flash and get out of this one. There it is. Into the brush. Should be able to flash out of this one and be safe, but it may be close.
You got the slow, so a little bit extra harass.
That just means they're going to be back to harass him even more if they want. Already Dignitas is moving around the map. It's only 5 minutes in.
Yeah, KiWiKid, the recipient of the first blood, immediately wants to use that money and his mobility boots. Oh, he's going to stay around and harass Cris a little bit more and zone him out. Ooh, so he has no idea KiWiKid's in here. Just because he missed the shuriken, KiWiKid cancels the recall because Cris thinks he's not in there.
Look at the smile on KiWiKid's face. That was cruel. Yeah. He knew it was going to happen. Oh, they take him down. Cris, no chance with the flash down.
That is just a great job of KiWiKid realizing that Cris got some bad info with his shuriken. Not quite throwing the shuriken right through the middle of the bush. So KiWiKid hugging the wall was able to avoid it.
And Annie, you can't consider like one shuriken is going to do the job there. Sometimes.
Really good play there from KiWiKid, though. Immediately canceling his recall after he just saw the missed shuriken, so knew that Cris was going to push up after. And wow, what a great start here for Dignitas.
2 kills on the map. Bottom lane and top lane. And would you know it, KiWiKid has 100% kill participation somehow. Go support. 6 minutes into this, Dignitas could probably make a pretty big move, but right now, trying to play it safe. Shiphtur's going to do that with the ultimate. I think he might have one more dash. It's another chain, though. He had another and another. He uses the flash as well to get out. Beautiful job. So Coast is coming up empty-handed on a lot of their attempts here. Probably going to try for a bit of dragon pressure, knowing that KiWiKid was there.
Yeah, a lot of attempts mid here from Coast as well. And they are doing a decent job getting Mancloud off to a good start CS-wise. Impaler gets caught in the jungle.
Almost forcing the flash. Man, things are not working out for Coast right now. Just trying to get wards in, and Dignitas is able to collab each time. Really good communication. Impaler's having a tough run right now.
The levels. Sheep's going to help him jungle here. True support, supporting not only the AD carry, but the jungler as well.
Absolutely.
And he did not take the Gromp kill, as some supports would. All right, let's see this roam mid, because they're actually roaming mid right now without the mid laner even there. So preemptively putting the pink ward down, so KiWiKid knows that he's in a fairly safe spot here. He's got no backup from Shiphtur quite yet.
He's just saying, hey, I'm here. Don't worry about it.
They lose the pink ward because Shiphtur is CSing under his turret. So Mancloud able to establish control on the bottom side and inhibit further roams from KiWiKid. He's got some pretty good wards.
Yeah.
Up by the Wraith camp as well as in that side push of the river.
They have to slow something down. Dignitas was being the catalyst to their advantage every like 2 or so minutes. Kills, pressure, flashes down. Anything they need to use again against Coast would be that easy just to head back to lane. Now they seem to be getting pushed in a bit.
Wow, 0-0.
Whoosh! The insta-vote. Dignitas, 71%.
Yeah, after that start, definitely agree with it. Shiphtur does land the charm this time. We saw last time they went for the trade. He immediately threw the charm out at the initial W spot. This time it was in a line, so it's easy to land that charm.
Oh, he's got blue. Can't yo-yo it in. Cris Looks like he's used
Azingy
E in this
ult.
situation. Throws down the slicing Maelstrom and hits Cris. And Zingy's not going to pick up that kill. It's going to be the Flame Spitter from Gamsu. Doesn't want to go into the turret. He is overheating. What are you doing?
He wanted to kick him under the turret, but even if he had, would have been hard-pressed to pull off that kill.
So Dignitas comes up big once again. Impaler thwarted in another gank. Still having a rough game. 72-64 in this lane. Mash doing what he can to keep up in CS, but with this composition being one to pick, chase, run you down, and take you down, like we said in Champions Select, Dignitas is going to have the advantage to do that at any turret in a few minutes.
Yeah, laning phase, especially when two teams have very similar compositions that both have the same goals of hard engage and fighting. The laning phase is extremely important because if Coast are not able to get some vision control,
No way.
and pull off picks, Coast are really going to have some good vision control and pull off picks with their LeBlanc and Leona now because they are behind Dignitas. And they're definitely going to have to make up some ground before they go into these 5 versus 5 fights.
That really hurts Mancloud. With Shiphtur already able to push him out of lane, Mancloud cannot trade anymore without a blue buff. That's going to be even tougher. Azingy might get grab control here. So Impaler's wasting time on Crab, and now they're going to try to make something out of it. This may work.
You going to try and steal it? Scares him off with the support of the mid laner, and he claims the Crab! Victory for Coast! Rift Scuttler down.
The Rift has been scuttled. Oh, I don't know.
What a bait.
Little deja vu here from level 1. Same spot, same situation. Sheep, a little bit healthier this time. Gets himself out alive. And Gamsu back to the top lane. Dignitas just back to regular defense. Try to get something out of the mid lane, but if it didn't work, they don't try to go on it too hard. Sheep, however, does want this. They think they can keep getting the kill. Azingy just on the outside. He has ultimate in just a few seconds if they want to continue. But it looks like Mash flashes and Valkyrie's away to safety after it takes Sheep down.
You know, they say the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
It's true.
But Sheep gets the same result this time. Really rough going down in that bottom lane. Good counter gank there. Azingy coming in just to back them up. Didn't even have to use his ultimate, though. It was just CoreJJ popping that Sivir and chasing him back down for an extra gold lead.
He's ready. No ignite here, so they're going to have to hit it.
Cris does have flash
everything land.
backup, so...
It's true. Ultimate as well. One harpoon. Oh, he gave away the flash, and that's going to be his death. He does have the lockdown.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Oh, Gamsu trolls Shiphtur, throws down the equalizer on the way out.
Well, Shiphtur was about to recall there. Gamsu was like, you know what? No, we're forcing this. I'm just going to run at him, and they get the kill. However, showing top, good reaction from Coast here. They want to try and get something out of this. The only problem is 3 members of Dignitas headed their way, and Azingy, as we said, still has his ultimate, so he can force this.
Oh, Impaler gets hit hard. Still level 7 to the 8. Flame Spitter just on the outside. Gamsu flashes through. Remember, Equalizer is down, so this is all just the regular abilities to catch and continue the fight, and KiWiKid was just out of range for the next stun. Dignitas now to focus on mid.
Yep, things are collapsing very quickly for Coast here. Dignitas are the ones that end up getting the objective after 6-0 start.
Whoa,
or not.
whoa, Sheep! Everybody from Coast going in hard. Cris can't get the ult off. Actually doesn't have the ult, just goes in and gets stunned. They are able to take down Gamsu. That was a flurry of action.
That's a good kill, though. It's a 4-0 rumble, so they get a little bit of extra gold there. Down bottom, Mash was also able to take the opportunity to shove up. Getting closer and closer to his Trinity Force.
Let's see if they can still use this. It looked promising that they could take down Gamsu. It was a good shutdown, as we were saying. Mancloud does need that gold quite a bit. Only comes out of base with Morel and Amakan right now. Gamsu only getting bigger, though he was taken down. Buys the Giant's belt as well. Looks like he's going for a Ryla's next, actually, with that ability tome. The ult and the orb come out from both sides. Looks like Coast will stay safe, but you see Dignitas not stopping on trying to get advantages every so often. Usually we see a team here be lulled by when the dragon is up and when people can take it or fight over that. But Dig is always going for ganks consistently right now.
Yeah, and Sheep and Mashme have stopped playing aggressively after it being turned around twice on them.
Yeah.
So not going in and starting off those trades with full commitment of Zenith Blades. So Dignitas unable to capitalize, but are able to get the double roam for ward coverage around the Dragon Pit, deep into this blue side jungle of Coast.
Had those early kills not happen for Dig, you look at the lanes and they're quite even all across the board. Even ADCS, mid-CS only about 14 off.
Mancloud's doing a good job.
Able to find it. Yeah, he's definitely done a good job keeping himself. Didn't have blue as well, so he had to keep himself safe in those terms.
Yeah, one of the keys to LeBlanc versus Ahri is LeBlanc using her distortion at an angle where she does not jump forward in a direct line towards Ahri, because that means Ahri, you can just fire your charm right off of the initial spot. Oh, well, Mancloud coming up here. This looks to be a dive in progress.
This is what they need. Giant Felt may make it a little harder.
Are they going to wait to shove up the lane here? Because we got reinforcements on the way from Dignitas.
I don't know if it
could turn dangerous.
If it starts taking a little too long, you got to worry about the strategy you're pulling. Again, Solar Flare's up for Sheep. Get the flash out of Azingy. Every time he has it, he's got to put it down. That's the charm. They go back onto Mancloud. He may be dusted out on this one. He goes out. Sheep's going to get hit up by Gamsu as he pretty much 3v1s over on the top side of the river here. And then he's just going to head back to lane to farm.
What a collapse there from Dignitas. And Azingy with the moves. Okay, so Azingy didn't have the biggest early impact on the game because his lanes were getting kills by themselves.
Yeah.
But that was a really good dodge. He short cast his Q so that he wasn't stunned by the solar flare. And then with the quick flash and turnaround, he was able to survive that. So fairly well played there by Azingy, throwing in Mancloud. So let's do it again. There's the short cast. Then the flash is out, Zenith Blade. And then immediately turning around for the burst as the charm comes from Shiphtur. And then Gamsu was just chasing him off 3 versus 1. That was just Gamsu balling out by the blue buff.
That was also with no vision. The wards on the minimap around that blue were recently placed by Coast in that fight. They also didn't know where CoreJJ was, so that was really risky for them to be going in.
Coast had numbers up there, right? It was 4 versus 3 to start it off before the roam came in from KiWiKid. And they still got turned around. It just goes to show how big of a lead Dignitas have right now. Very, very rough early game here for Coast. But they keep trying moves.
Solar Flare back up. Would not be surprised if they tried one more time. It looks like this turret will be theirs. Dignitas only putting 3. No, actually, here comes 4. Shiphtur's going to be on the end. He can Spirit Rush into this fight. Activated there. Zingy dives in. Doesn't get much. They are able to get Annie, however. Nicely done. KiWiKid goes down.
Yeah, good flash there. Defensive flashes from Coast.
Can they get off of this, however?
Good.
Straight to the mid lane.
They're looking for the objective focus here. I like the play from Coast. Even though they're really behind, they're just grouping up and they're trying to gain advantages through numbers and then a quick math movement up to the objective to try and burst down the turret before Dignitas have a chance to answer. I like to see this from Coast because you really have to worry about the mentality of the team after losing so many games if they'll stop trying these aggressive plays. But this is how you get back in the game. Turret, kill into turret, into dragon.
So first one to them, along with timer. Ward on that by Dignitas as well, so they will know when the next dragon is. And with mid turrets being down on both sides, we might get a little bit more roam to these side turrets, mainly these top ones. Cris realizes that as well. He's gonna have to be safe. Gamsu almost got the treatment just a little bit ago as well, so they're gonna have to make sure to stay safe. 24,000 for Coast, 27 for Dignitas here with a strong early game, but it's fizzling out a little bit. See if they can keep carrying this lead. Yeah, he missed. He missed.
Everyone in the crowd knows the pain of missing the cannon minion. All right, big focus up top from Dignitas. Gamsu might even be able to use that turret as a bait. Looks like Azingy's just going to show, though, so Cris will back off, or should back off, as their red side jungle is taken over by Dignitas.
Oh dear.
KiWiKid wants it.
Safe enough to clear all these wards. That means trouble for Coast if They actually cannot start to protect these once they lay them down. Dignitas is going to start to move their ward lineup. Gamsu starting to spread himself from Cris here, 140 to 130 in CS. That Rylai's is now finished. Stealing the red off as well. Dignitas getting pretty much everything they want. They were noticing that Coast was grabbing a little bit of a lead, so they turned it back on again, got themselves into the realm of Coast. Stealing away red, getting those wards down. 40 seconds till Baron spawns. I don't think we're going to see that just yet. But if anything, Coast could definitely pressure, or I'm sorry, Dig could definitely pressure onto Coast from what we've seen before.
Yeah, if Coast want to pull this one back, they can pull it off with a really good ult from Cris. He has flash and teleport available, and he's level 11. So he's got his level 2 Kennen ultimate. He's got his 2-item power spike with the at least haunting guys straight into Abyssal because he skipped boots. If he can get a good team-wide ult, then Coast could be able to pull something off. As of right now, though, they're looking to pressure that top and strike back. And take one more turret for themselves.
I don't know if they're going to be getting this one, actually. The call of the team is to push mid for Dignitas here. Gamsu has 3 in the top lane, so they should be able to siege this nicely in the mid.
That single-handedly should stop Team Coast engaged for the next couple seconds before Cris can get back to base and heal. Chunking out Kennen before the fight starts like that, since he doesn't even have Zhonya's, he cannot go in.
And he didn't focus it either. He went Abyssal Shiphtur, which obviously he's going against double AP, but that's going to stop the amount of power you're putting out in the fight because everyone's going to target you instantly.
Yeah, I really like Abyssals against double APs, especially when you're running double AP. So he gets a lot out of that item here for Coast.
Doubly effective.
But it does mean that he will have to play it a bit carefully, and he's going to need Sheep to land CC at the same time as Cris going in. So that the damage output from Dignitas, they don't just turn it right back around on him.
You get a nice spike out of getting Sork boots for Cris. Should be pretty close to those as well. Having flash up for him is going to be big, so that engagement will help them out quite a bit to get to this line.
There it is. You can only soft reset 5 times now. So it's going to take him a bit longer to take that blue, but he'll still get it. Let's see if Dignitas decide to make a move, because this is really the point where even though you have a really big lead, secondary turrets are much more difficult to take, especially since Dig's team is not really made for taking turrets. They'd much rather just get more vision down, establish that control, especially around the mid lane, and then look for picks with Ahri and Sivir chase down. Maybe they find somebody out with Annie. Both of these teams
KiWiKid's ready.
Have the ability to blow somebody up if they can.
Oh, KiWiKid's always ready. A nice dodge, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Azingy's there to say hello. Will he actually be able to get one on this? Oh, Mancloud. Nice. Oh, Mancloud. That's unfortunate. Welcome to the Space Jam.
Yeah, a little bit of jukes there with the clone, but then he ran after the clone. Still in harm's way. Once again, though, those are the plays that we're talking about. KiWiKid just comes out with mobility boots and flashes on you. There's no ward control in the actual lane, which is why sometimes we actually see people drop pretty deep wards in the mid lane after the turrets go down. Actually, how Dignitas have done. But yeah, Mancloud did his best to try and escape. Not going to be able to pull it off this time around. And Cris, again, just gets bullied here. Nowhere for him to go. He's going to have to defensively flash.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Got him. Almost. Oh, got the hot foot. Gamsu able to keep the heat on him, and he takes Cris down. Flash and ult. Teleport will be up. 30 seconds, so, and he won't be able to help the fight.
That comeback move that we're talking about for Coast just got a whole lot more difficult. If Cris does not have flash,
right. No, that's almost the Kennen engage to make sure you don't get instantly charmed, instantly locked down and killed. You got to be fast enough and be chaotic enough to make people want to disperse.
I think they really have to put all of their eggs in a pick right now. They have to put them in that basket and look for a a Leona Mancloud combo to try and burst somebody. Mancloud's almost got his death cap, so if they could actually grab some vision control back,
it's going to be tough. You already have the Abyssal Shiphtur actually coming onto Shiphtur as well. The Aegis is being built by KiWiKid. They're ready for Mancloud to get big here. But he can still get somebody, maybe if he hits Annie with everything. KiWiKid can get caught out trying to get one of these flash engages in. Dragon's up, and that's going to be Dignitas hovering that area.
Yeah, they're going for it. The two-man pick squad there. Dignitas, though, as you say, going to grab up that dragon effortlessly. Finally, though, in exchange for dragon, Coast were able to take down that turret. Get a little bit more global gold.
Well, this is Dignitas with the outer ring down, which means they can easily get from side lane to side lane here from the mid, and that falls quite easily for them. No real contest there coming out from Coast. Gamsu was there if anything did happen.
Yeah.
We're going to see them just back. Looks like they're all pushed out for the time being. Somebody to get top lane and the jungle camps to be farmed out here for Dig.
Yeah, I think just too good of an early game for the bottom lane of Dignitas. CoreJJ and KiWiKid. Uh-oh. Now he's under a bit of pressure.
This could be good for... Nope, never mind. That's way too many people able to collapse at one time. So, there's one of the picks. That's pretty good. CoreJJ didn't have too many kills to his name, but it's still a little bit of gold.
Now, what they would really like is to get the last outer turret down bottom, but their pick was mid, so not a lot that Coast can get done off of the pick, except try and get back some ward coverage.
Well,
able to do a little bit of vision work.
Taking down, placing. I think KiWiKid has definitely upped his placing stat. Coast is upping their taking down stat of the wards. Now Dignitas going to try to maybe dictate mid lane once again here. They don't see too much in their wards, which means Coast is probably towards the top side of the map. We'll see what they do with this here. They're bunching up, though, looking for a kill.
Yeah. Dignitas can pretty much move freely about the map if they group up like this. Anybody they run into.
None of this is warded out.
Fairly quickly. Gamsu's going to do a little bait here, it looks like. Stand outside the bush. This is without their AD carry, though, so...
That's a good call from Azingy.
Don't get too frisky. CoreJJ is just farming down bottom.
Suiting him very well, this Sivir pick. They didn't have too much success on it before, but he'd always have a safe lane, like Mash said. And with the way that KiWiKid was roaming, it really worked with his composition for them.
Yeah.
Now he's going to join with the team. He'll be walking through some wards, so Coast actually may use this to their advantage if they can get numbers here.
Ooh.
That's
Gamsu is just destroying the entire team right now.
He did it before. He was 3v1ing when he took down Mancloud just over by their blue on the left side of the map. And now with Annie and the rest closing in, this could be bad for Coast. They are spread out here.
KiWiKid can grab him.
The team didn't follow.
Want to, though?
No, they were saying don't do it. I'm actually a little surprised he didn't. Not gonna lie.
Well, now they're shoving in both mid and top to try and
what they did
secure
do
their hold.
Is get all the control that they needed.
Got to be a little bit careful during this stage. As we said, you can get a little bit over aggressive. Gamsu here overextends, and there it is.
You were saying
one kill on the way back. This is a long path back to an even count, but starts with a single step, of course.
And they're not afraid. They still want to get something even off of that. They know they can win the fight. They've had it with numbers down before. So Dignitas still paying respect to the composition that Coast has, but trying to get every little bit they can out of being where they are on the map right now. Only a few shots to that turret as it is, and they start to back off. It looks like Mancloud and Sheep are kind of on a solo mission here.
I do like how Coast have upgraded at least 2 Oracle lenses so far, so they can get the vision back inside their jungle. I would really like to see Cris drop a little bit of money to upgrade his yellow trinket so that he can get more wards down for the team in their jungle after they clear out Dignitas' vision. But Cris has been really starved for gold up in that top lane. Going down 4 times to Gamsu. So he tries to use it for combat stats.
It's going to be hard without a for sure initiation if Sheep misses. They can't get into these fights. Coast is obviously playing with the mentality that these games need to be wins. Hopefully that doesn't create fear, but it kind of creates a little bit of oomph and confidence for them to keep continuing. Because once you get that fear, things start to crumble a little bit.
Coast really have to keep playing like they have nothing to lose.
Right.
Because they have everything to gain if they can pull it off.
Very, very true. Starting to get more Scuttle control. The wards, however, still everywhere. Even though they're trying to up theirs, every little one that Dignitas has is spotting somebody out. That actually sees both Cris and Mancloud in the top lane.
The good thing for Coast is that since Dignitas only have one dragon, Coast can really concentrate their vision efforts up on the side by Baron.
Good point.
And just give up the second dragon here, because second dragon isn't going to be a game breaker for Coast. So they can just afford to not go into that Fog of War, not play dangerously, and try to draw Dignitas up into their red buff side jungle where they actually do have the vision to fight with.
Game of baiting to be started now. Got him. All right, so the vision on Baron is going to have to actually make Dignitas react here after they get Dragon. Actually, no. You're going to see Coast showing on Dignitas' wards, so they know Baron is not being done. This actually works to their favor quite nicely. They should be able to get Dragon uncontested.
Yeah, we'll see how much work Cris is able to do. Gamsu staying over there.
Yeah.
He should probably just back off, because we've seen already Gamsu can take him down 2 versus 1. 1 versus 1. Cris has to be very careful not to get tagged with a slow.
That's the difficult thing with Kennen, is if you do fall behind, you just go down very quickly, and you can't use your E to get away from anybody. However, when ahead, very effective in the games, and still can provide a good ultimate here for Coast. They have to be able to group, though. Gamsu still creating pressure with a push in the top lane, keeps calling Cris back there. Maybe up to the teleports that these guys have when the fight comes to really come down to who takes that one. 30 minutes in on this one. Dignitas looks to put a stamp on one of the inhibitor turrets here quite soon.
Yeah, and to make that stamp, to actually try and crack the inhibitor turret line, Dig really do need Baron buff, so a lot of their efforts for the next few minutes are probably going to be around trying to gain ward placement in the river around Baron, and of course up into the red buff jungle so they can see the approach as well.
You make a good point, Kobe, because KiWiKid has also bought himself a banner of command to make sure that goes well for them once they do get Baron.
Yeah, already prepping for it, because as we said, short range, so they're going to need a bit of extra help to shove in. Looks like they are going to go with the shove without Baron and just group up on the secondary turret here. Mash me a little bit late on the recall means without Corki harass, they might even just get chased off this turret. So a little bit slow there from Coast, and the good quick move from Dignitas nets them a bunch of damage, and they actually finish it off.
Tries to save the turret. The flash ult from Kennen is still up. The solar flare down. We've seen that up for Sheep quite quick, so they should have it for whatever is needed soon here. Dignitas is going to use that advantage. Try to clear some wards. I don't know if he gets the last few hits here. Azingy is being very dangerous.
Yeah, they're pinging him off it to have a ranged champion kill that ward instead.
Simple things of safety.
Yeah, don't want to be in range for those Leona solar flares, because that's the one thing Coast have going for them. Leona solar flare into a Mancloud burst can still take somebody if they're out of position. Cris slowly working towards his Zanyas now as well. So if Coast can stall till that point, just try and hug their inhibitor turrets. Weed it out.
Does have a bit of that power on the needlessly large rod. Hopefully it's enough to impact the fight if he hits a good ult. Right now, Gamsu pays him no mind when he approaches the fight. Level 16 Gamsu right now is the highest in the game as he goes back to the team.
He has really run away with this game. With just the early roam from KiWiKid after they got First Blood mobility boots on him, up into the top lane, just destroyed that lane for Cris. And Rumble that gets ahead, and a Rumble that is free to play aggressively, can really, really trash him. So, good job there by Gamsu on the top side of the map for Dignitas.
Yeah, KiWiKid's roam as well. That 1-0-1 in the beginning of the game, participating in everything that's happening. Something we've seen before, definitely.
All right. So they've cleared out the Baron, and now they're just going to try and bait Coast over to that area. They have the Sivir ultimate. All you do is pop Sivir ultimate, Ahri and Vi, ensure that you catch somebody.
It's just, well, blam! Hit him down.
The 1-2 punch.
Something like that.
Azingy and Shiphtur.
Zanya's finished up here for Cris. They may go balls to the wall on this fight.
Got flash.
They're approaching all from the bottom side here. They kind of want to stay grouped. Mancloud feels like he can go solo on this one to try and pick someone off in the back line. Good positioning from LeBlanc.
So I feel like during that, Dignitas can actually afford to have Gamsu split pushing. Or at least grooming one of the side waves to start pushing in their favor. You can see the top lane is kind of pushing in their favor, but they let mid get all the way to their turret. So if they prep side waves and then have 4 members clearing, it puts a lot more pressure on Coast to make a decision. And you could probably, with Sivir Ultimate, buy enough time for the teleport to come in from Gamsu if Coast decide to go for that hard engage, but
it's a good dance by Coast.
Very worried about the solar flare into instant kill.
Yeah.
So they want everybody grouped up so they don't get burst down 4 versus 5.
Nicely done. So looks like we have the Locket of the Iron Solari finished up now on the side of Impaler for the team. Magic resistance for Azingy himself. So they're all kind of building their own singular magic resistance. A little bit of assistance there for having the advantage in the game. They have a little bit more money to help themselves out.
Now, Dignitas' wards on Baron have pretty much all timed out, and they show their AD carry on the bottom lane. So now it's actually Coast that have the pressure around Baron. And you don't want to start it up, you just want to clear out the vision. So Sheep takes a lot of damage for that, but the possibility of Coast using it to bait 4 versus 5 into the Baron was there for a second.
As long as they can kite this fight, I don't think there's any way that Coast can actually do it. I was going to say because Gamsu has Rumble ultimate, but Gamsu doesn't almost have his own life right now.
Zingy walked right by that ward. He had his Raptor buff just popped. All right, so they get a big chunk. That might give Mancloud the confidence to go for that burst once again. And try and pick somebody up because he knows he can almost burst him down now from 100 to 0.
Yeah.
But they did give up a turret for that knowledge. Dragon number 3 probably just going to go over to Dignitas as well. Because again, still far away from number 5, and Coast do not want to venture into the fog of war.
Easily picking this one up. CoreJJ has just kind of had some free time here on the bottom of the map. He's accrued a 30 to 40 CS lead here over Mashme now. He's going to start getting bigger. He can sustain himself with that Bloodthirster. And coming out of base, we just saw Gamsu pick up that Elixir of Sorcery, so he's ready to do a little extra damage in these fights. Looks like that may be quite soon. Whoa, doggy! All the way to Mancloud in the backline. A double distortion and flash. Azingy actually gets himself out alive. Nobody's died yet somehow. Finally, Cris goes down. And that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, Cris trying to zone there to protect Mancloud's retreat. And he was able to zone, but it's at the cost of his own life. Dignitas now. Another bait attempt with the crab there. It's hard to pull off bait because you can't clear the crab. Gamsu looks to be the one who's got himself isolated, though.
Whoa.
They actually have to be a little bit worried.
The team's running. How are Gamsu's dance moves? Not good enough. Impaler says he wants to dance as well. CoreJJ, a new challenger approaches. Flashes right in.
What a crit. All right, so this whole time, though, look at Match. He's shoved up the mid lane, and he's going to get a turret for their troubles. Coast slowly getting some global gold back in their favor.
Got to be careful where that focus is. Right after that fight, oh wow, just under the tail. That Banner of Command, KiWiKid used it on a siege in mid. It seemed like they expected they were just going to take Baron, but Coast stayed, and Mashme was able to push that Banner of Command minion down, take mid lane as we just saw. Yeah. So making the best of some bad situations here, keeping themselves afloat. 59,000 to 54. We'll see this again.
All right, so Azingy just immediately in on Mancloud, goes super deep. And even though the team collapses here, you see Cris trying to zone out the rest of the team to buy them time to burst down to Azingy. But with the flash out, still not able to get him. And Gamsu coming around from the side means there's no retreat. So pretty big pickup there. Now, Dignitas, you mentioned the Banner of Command again. They should pop the Banner of Command in the bottom lane because it's furthest away from Baron and would draw the most pressure away from the area they're trying to bait. But it looks like they just sent Sivir down there instead to try and shove the wave.
Yeah, not too worried about leaving Baron alone. They definitely have enough power to stop it if they don't get hit up first. It's that whoever starts the fight right now is going to have the advantage. Chris's ultimate is, or rather Flash, sorry, is down from that last engage, so he's going to be forced to be flying into these fights with the telling path.
Interesting. So they will have a sort of slow push in the bottom lane because of the work that CoreJJ was able to accomplish. But can they time it this time with that proper vision control around Baron? Looks like they are going to go for it. KiWiKid does have another banner activation available, so he can even pop one in the top lane. Too many wards to clear, though.
A lot of wards to
oracles
clear.
used.
I think that ward stat was kind of triple-doubled in this game.
Well, it's per minute, the stat that I get, so.
Oh. Well, never mind.
Definitely won't have to concentrate on it. Here comes the bait.
Leona on the backside. These two can get over the wall if they find a target. Hopefully, Impaler to follow
Jump in
the
for
under.
it.
KiWiKid onto Matt, or rather, that was on a Mancloud. They take him down. Is it the steal? It goes to Impaler. He gets out. Will they be able to follow? That's, oh, the equalizer doesn't equalize much on that one. And it's going to be a 1 for Baron. Coast holding their breath, but they need to hold on too.
Yeah, and with the empowered recalls, they can get back to base, come out with the extra speed, and they might even be able to have enough left to hold this inhibitor turret. They have the Baron empowered minions on their side, and KiWiKid is so low. Flash did just come up with him, though.
They do have that banner commandy. That's going to help take this turret down. A lot of damage as well coming from the team. Cris, without that flash, like I said, it's hard to get into the fight.
Oh!
He gets hit up, but he's still offering a lot of crowd control, a lot of zone. That's the team picking up kills. Mash on 2. Dig is taking him down. Another one over to Cris now. They find the fight that they wanted when Dig was getting a little greedy.
Oh my goodness. Now they can shove straight down mid lane. They have minions right behind them. They can even run back and boost up the speed. Mash Me is boosting up the speed of the entire line, but Cris gets 100%ed.
Bye-bye. Oh,
sticks around.
That's close. That's going to be a true damage on the backside. Those are some shots. Another Sonic Wave to hit the ace. As Shiphtur thinks he can stay around to play. The greed consumes Dignitas once again.
Baron, the bane of Team Dignitas for many seasons. And Coast, this is the exact opposite of the first time these two teams played.
I was just going to mention that. Thank you, Kobe.
Coast were the ones with the huge lead for the majority of the game, and it was Dig who pulled a big play off of Baron to come back. But let's just look at the steal from Impaler.
Does he just get it perfect?
He lands the Q, and they still continue going. Look, Azingy stopped damaging it, but the last boomerang play there from CoreJJ got it low enough for Impaler to jump in and steal it. Didn't even see what happened to Mancloud on the side. I know he engaged on somebody, but 1 kill for the Baron. What a huge turnaround for Coast. They've evened up the gold totals now, and they have the inhibitor advantage. It was a really good mid-game from Coast where they just gave up the entire bottom side of the map. They knew they didn't have vision on it, so they're like, you know what? They only have 1 dragon right now. We're going to let them stack up a few and concentrate on the Baron vision. Now that they've actually come back into the game, though, they do need to readjust their priorities and start getting some vision back down on this side of the map. You don't have to rush in there because it's number 4 right now, but after number 4, you need to at least leave some vision behind. Well, never mind. They're going to rush right in.
They're going to rush. We're gonna put the brakes on for now. Not just yet. Dragon, however, he still wants to fight. It does not look like.
Go back in and
Cris smited that. Azingy missed it. Cris picks up the Dragon now. They're going to be able to move themselves up a little bit with that power, but is it enough to win the fight? Dignitas may still win the all-out 5v5 if Coast can't get the upper hand to start it. They got to be careful there. They lose Cris.
I feel so bad for Azingy right now.
There's definitely a bit of nerves.
Everyone is stealing from him. They're just hanging him upside down, dumping all his lunch money out of his pocket.
Oh.
Cris stole Dragon. Impaler steals Baron. What a rough day at the office.
Well, we'll see what they can keep doing. Take that one more look at this.
Man. Just a little bit of an early smite there, too. He did use smite. Now, they get the kill for it, because KiWiKid flashed back in. But again, that's no flash on KiWiKid. He does have distortion boots, but it's still a really big part of the Dignitas team comp.
Right. As they're moving about, I want to go back to that point you said where Coast had a good mid game. And it wasn't just vision. It was them getting small picks. The picks didn't work out, but it was Gamsu's health bar. It was somebody else's health bar, and they were allowed to stay on the map and move their vision around.
And let me be clear. It's a good mid game with what they had to work with. It wasn't a strong mid game. It was just a good job of not creating more losses for themselves, not digging a deeper hole. They were able to sort of cut their losses and hold on for long enough to make a big play.
See what they get out of this. Waiting for the kill, but nobody on Dignitas brave enough to walk into a dark jungle right now. They are, however, ready to approach the outer turret, the bottom side of the map. This is going to be a full 5 from Coast, and they have the ability to go in and out of that back line. You already see Mancloud kind of just looking at it, dead set.
Yeah. They really have to wait for it because you can see Dignitas murder creep waves. The wave clear is insane with Sivir and Ahri. So they can afford to send Gamsu over there. Not only does he have teleport, but he can even walk close enough to at least get his equalizer off. So still, both teams have to be very, very careful here. It just comes down to team fights at this point.
Oh dear.
Mancloud pushes it in as Gamsu actually has to head back. We've seen Mancloud, the burst from Mancloud, getting them a lot of map presence. Even though he rarely has been able to finish off the kill, huge chunks out of Gamsu over and over.
So Coast finally able to take a breather there after quite a surge. They were down about 3,000 to 4,000 gold. Now that deficit is only 500, 400 as it creeps up. And they're starting to equalize the dragons as well. The item completion of the Zanyas of more of the Locket of the Iron Solari, the Crucible to help MASH get to safety, really started to put these guys ahead with the rest of the game advantages. See if they can hold it though. These fights are still very, very back and forth.
Well, let's take a look at the key flashes. KiWiKid's coming up very soon, while Cris has a long time to wait on his.
It's like just use Banner of Command on a minion. I wonder if that was actually the bottom wave, like you were saying before when they were coming out of base. Have to find that one. They move out. Looks like they get the clear on to Baron. Should be able to hold this from Coast for a little bit.
Yeah, so Dignitas now, with Baron coming up in 35 seconds or so, their top wave that they've been able to build up there should crash in about 20 seconds or so. Looks like they do want to work with that wave. Baron will come up pretty much at the perfect time for that wave to crash in. But Coast have got a little bit of a split push going of their own here with Cris. Good disengage, so they have plenty of time to teleport in. You can see Sheep putting that ward down just in case Dig kept up the chase with a Sivir ultimate. They could have Cris teleport into the middle of Team Dignitas and not have to use Flash, which he's still waiting for. And there's the monster that will decide the game.
Yep. For a second, I'm like, there's no Rek'Sai. What was that?
Ooh, KiWiKid.
Kiwi of the Kid.
Can they coordinate their burst, though? He's got to get some extra damage behind him.
He's trying to stop the smite here. He doesn't want the smite jump.
Oh!
KiWiKid, go!
He showed himself.
Oh, Coast wants it. All right. Sheep flexing some muscles. He's saying nope. And Dignitas responds. They back right off. I believe they also saw KiWiKid there for a second. They were like, well, this just got a lot harder to take. And they reassess the situation. Now it looks like they have each other lined up. We'll see how it goes from here on out. It's not gonna go.
Well,
mid inhibitor's up, so Dig can have these little forays outside the base. They don't have to worry about it.
Dignitas, they're so close to getting this to actually work, but they need that side wave control before they move up to Baron to try and force that again. Bottom this time. Huge glob of minions down there. Plus they have mid wave here. If they can actually clear out those wards that Coach just put in the red buff side behind Baron, they can try and force that decision. Both teams, though, as we said in Champion Select, bringing the full engage supports. No peeling for anybody here. Just the Sivir ultimate
All right.
Dignitas need to rotate.
Commanding in the mid lane.
So that command, Kennen minion will probably go down pretty easily. So
I think that's what happened last time. They just put it on something and it was instantly killed by this wave. Using it though to gain a little bit of distraction. It does take some resources there to take out 3 people still. Hammering down on the banner of Commander. Mashme's going to get Dragon 3-3 after this one, but Dignitas is getting all the ground they want here. And if Mashme is seen coming up on this river ward, they may get more.
So Coast grab their second dragon of the game. Third, actually.
Third, yeah.
There it is, updating. Tied up on dragons now, even. What a huge comeback for Team Coast this game. Going really, really aggressive for the first 15 minutes of the game, even down 6 kills, continually trying to make plays. And then in the mid game, after all their outer turrets are down, playing much more safe. Ooh, let's see here. Looks like we have a kill. So there's a dead body there. We'll investigate soon what just went down.
We have our detectives on
We've got the chalk outline of Mandatory Cloud, but Shiphtur has fled the scene. Now he's on Baron.
Oh, there's still a chance for a 50-50 smite here.
Can he do it again?
There's still a chance. That's an early Sonic wave ticking down. He's going to have to take it if he wants to get in. Popped, stopped, and locked down. Impaler has no chance to smite. He himself gets smited down by Dignitas. That's going to be the lockdown from Shiphtur onto Baron. He picked up Mancloud and Baron for the team.
I'm pretty sure, that Azingy left the Baron pit with his ultimate. Did he flash back in to be able to be in position for smite? All right, well, let's
the tribute to DFG.
All right. Yeah, DFG what? Well then, that's going to be the Baron in the game.
Well then, indeed. That's 44 seconds on Impaler. We just saw him go down. Mancloud went down early, so he'll be back here, but it could be a Nexus turret. It could be a lot more if anybody gets caught in the fray. Cris dives into the fight. Zhonya's cannot be used. He doesn't get it off, or it was on cooldown from last fight, rather, and they're going to be on the Nexus turrets now. Coast starts to drop in what was their comeback in a week of do or die. Dignitas looks to put the final moves on it. 50-50 on the clock, 20-10 on the kill score, and Dignitas takes down Coast.